we have this group of CEOs of consulting members, and when we set the vision, we agreed that we should measure somehow how we are reaching those targets. And then we kind of debated over a year that what would be the measures that companies could feasibly collect from their databases and provide us, the university, so that we can perform the measurement. And it took quite many iterations, so some measures were very good but very difficult to collect data. So we kind of had to select those metrics where data was readily available, and you didn't need a full-time engineer for a year to collect the data from projects. I think the most important goal we set was that reliability must be much higher. Construction companies should be reliable partners, and there we have selected 4 measurements. Are we able to achieve zero defect commissioning? Do we have zero safety incidents? Do we achieve the schedule objectives and the budget objectives? The other important thing for the consulting was productivity, and there we started to measure the cycle times and durations of construction projects, and are they decreasing. Also, we made some measurements of how much value-adding time, direct work, the laborers and professional craftsmen are doing on site. And we hope that by implementing the methods of this consortium, we will be able to increase that value-adding time on worker level. Then we had sustainability and green goals, for example, decreasing CO2 emissions, increasing the recycling percentage, and so on, and having a better, more energy efficient buildings. And for user-centric view, we were hoping that collaborative contracts would increase, and that was set as a measure. Then how to inspire new people to construction industry, that was kind of an important part of the vision, but we are not measuring it in this consortium because there are already industry-specific measures for reputation of construction industry, and of course how many students select construction industry as the first choice. So we are using those measures. There are some reliability metrics where we have been struggling a little bit. Finland is maybe one of the world leaders in keeping on schedule, but for quality performance could be better, and we have not focused on that topic because productivity and schedule reliability were kind of the first themes. And now we are starting to focus on quality because we have not seen the same kind of improvement in quality as we have seen on the time. There has been some improvement, but now we are focusing on that, so we expect that in the next 10 years, quality will also significantly improve.
I would also raise this quality. If you look at the schedule, we have a clear tools and ways of measuring it, and that we have quite much data on it, whereas the quality is much more fragmented. I think also the knowledge base is much more fragmented. But then I would probably, the most challenging I find is inspiring industry. I mean, we are not directly measuring here in the consortium, but if you look at all the other measurements that are there, so the industry is not that lucrative for new students, which is it's a ticking time bomb that if we don't change that. And it's a shame. I think one of the reasons is that there's too many negative things we like to talk about our industry. There's a lot of very great things and a lot of positive things that happens in our industry, but we don't tend to talk about them, or somehow those things doesn't get into the big audience.
I would say that this schedule reliability is the best metric. So over 90% of consortium's construction projects finish on time, taking into account any change orders, of course, and time extensions given by the client. And that has been internationally a very high result. The other one is productivity metrics and cycle times. We originally measured it by looking at how many weeks an average residential project needs, but because of the change in industry, the average project sizes have increased. So now we are measuring more how many euros per week of production we are able to do, and we have seen 40% increases.
I like that it's in the right order, that first we see an improvement in the reliability, and then when we sort of get the system noise away, then we are able to raise the level like in the productivity. So if it would have been the other way around, I would have been very worried that first we increase a lot of productivity, but the reliability lags behind.
The other thing I would say is this sustainability metrics. For example, energy efficient buildings, we have exceeded and already met the target of 2030.
I think this is very unique here in Finland, where we don't have the industry doesn't collaborate with the academy in a similar way in the other places we are. So the setup is really unique, and also it's very like fact based. So it's not like an opinion based. So it's a very different. We see some of these kind of forums, for example, LCI around the world has this forum, but here in consortium we have a vision and targets, and I think that's differentiate a lot from other consortiums, that you don't have like clear targets and that you measure from year to year. So that's a very unique thing, and we have been actually, and Olli has been even involved in that. So we have actually been presenting this the model that we are into the other countries, and Olli actually even met our like the president of the company for Skanska here with Antti Peltokorpi a couple of years ago.
I think they like all the audiences have liked the measurement, that there's kind of simple and consistent way to measure progress. And some companies have implemented the measurement practice internally, even global companies who are not Finnish. But then this progress, especially the scheduling part, increase of 40% in the throughput of residential projects, and over 90% schedule reliability. That's unheard of in other industries. So we have a lot of international visitors coming to Finland who kind of want to see what the secret sauce is. How can we keep the schedule reliability so high?
I think this is very valuable for the students, because I hear from many other schools that it's very difficult to get interaction with the industry, and also very difficult with industry get interaction with the students. So this is a huge value that it's not quantifiable, but it's very important. And I hope that somehow also reflects, and we can more like we can see it in this inspiring like industry part. And especially currently when the market is very tough. So there's a big, what happened in the 90s, a big part of the students, they went to other fields. So I think even today it has a even important role that the industry is now active involved in academia, and we sort of do this kind of long range research, and we have long range goals, we work systematically.
We see that companies of the consortium are improving. I would like to say that Building 2030 has kind of given the starting point for that improvement, and seeing good projects and good results of the companies are kind of forcing everybody to try their best to improve operations. But of course, companies are doing these results, not the knowledge that we are generating. But I think the knowledge and kind of solving this chicken and egg problem, where we first do small pilots and then companies start to scale because of encouraging results, has had quite big impact on getting the industry to the right track.